All right, my name is Philip Kolianos, and this is Jump Ship.
And I'm Daniel Kaplan. This is Jump Ship.
Yeah, and we have Kenator who's going to be here and I guess represent the community, give us questions, stuff like that. Should we start off with a few announcements? Because there's been some buzzing going on in the Discord channel about certain activities we've been doing earlier today.
Yeah, but first let's have Kenator introduce himself as well. Who are you and what do you do here?
I got a bit too excited, sorry.
It's all good, it's all good. I'm Kenator, some of you know me, some of you don't. Just a YouTuber helping out. I've made content on Jump Ship.
Nice. Welcome and thank you for joining us again.
No, you're more than welcome.
Yes.
So
Happy to help out.
yeah, thanks. As for announcements, we will be sending out new beta keys tomorrow. We will send out 1,000 keys.
1,000 keys.
And each person will be able to invite, to start with, 3 people each. We will be using a new invite system similar to that Deadlock got on Deadlock, a game by Valve on Steam. So every person who got an invite and they redeem their code will be able to invite more friends from the Steam. This is a new beta feature that was activated by Valve for us like a week ago. So we're gonna try it out for this round.
Yeah.
See how it works.
So that means expect delays, expect technicalities to not work.
What do you mean?
Well,
why wouldn't it work?
Because I'm a developer.
Yeah.
I can't trust myself. How can I trust them?
Yes. And we're also I'm gonna check if we can see if those that are already in the beta can invite more friends as well. That's one of the requested thing, like most requested features we've had. Can I get more keys because I have 2 different groups I'm usually playing with or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check if it works or not. Yeah.
Yeah. And why are we inviting people now, Daniel?
Why are we inviting people now? Just like 30 minutes before we came into this room, we updated the beta branch of the game. So we made a huge update, and we're gonna show you the biggest changes.
Yeah,
the biggest changes here on the stream. And then we'll have Kenator, asking questions, representing you, the players. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Because it's quite easy to forget about things, and it's always good to have like a fresh pair of eyes. And to be completely fair, Frank, Kenator have not seen most of the things we've been doing, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but we've been basically, I think we mentioned the big features. So we have, I think the top ones are the body bots. So that's an AI that's gonna accompany.
Let's show and talk.
Oh yeah, but I was like, oh yeah.
Or Kenator, do you have any questions already?
Let's talk about another thing before we jump into
okay,
the
sorry. Yeah.
And that was yeah, so we've been having a few announcements where we've been predicting like, oh yeah, we're gonna have more keys in 3 weeks, and then that did not happen. Now it's been 5 weeks since I think we made that announcement. Things have been sliding off. We've not been like, yes, I am posting sometimes, 3 in the morning when my son is waking up, and it's like a bit random. So I think one thing that we're gonna do to improve our communication with you, the community, is that we've hired a community manager. I guess some of you have seen that we've been looking for one, and now we've found one.
Yes, correct. And he will start in about like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So quite soon.
Yeah. So this is someone who's gonna sit here in the office, be fully working with us every day. So expect the kind of communication with you guys to be like 1,000,000 times better than it is today.
At least.
At least 1,000,000 times. So yeah, like whenever we do announcements and things slip or like whatever, you will be informed rather than me posting something and then everyone else has to kind of keep repeating what I randomly said at a certain point. So yeah, we kind of hope that, I mean, we're sure that that's going to be a huge improvement from your point of view. Right, so that was the big thing. Should we just jump into show?
Yeah, or Kenator, do you have anything to say don't tap.
Yeah,
because
sorry. I got excited.
No, it's all good.
Uh,
It's all good.
sorry,
The community's slowly but surely pinging through a few questions. Some of the community themselves are answering, which is pretty good to see. I saw a question asking about whether it will come to other consoles. Obviously, we might have a few new people here. Do you want to tell us about what it's going to be on?
the game is
For
going
the
to
game
be
release?
out. Yeah, it's going to be released at the same time on PC, Steam, and Xbox. And we have we haven't started working on any kind of other console versions at all because we're quite a small team, and we're even taking some help to do the Xbox porting. So we have 2 or 3 other people helping us out with porting the game to Xbox. So yeah, and since we're quite a small team, we're taking one platform at a time.
Yeah, but obviously the goal is to kind of reach out to all these machines at some point. I mean, we love consoles ourselves, and we
Yeah.
all have all of them at home and whatever. So it's more like, since we're a small team, it's kind of tricky to get everything working in one
Yeah,
launch.
it's a lot of work to get everything done.
Yeah, and it's a lot of tiny details. But progress is doing pretty good. I mean, I've posted a picture of Daniel playing, so pixels are moving.
Yeah, yeah,
it
for
is
sure.
there. So yeah, you PlayStation people and whatever other consoles, like, the hope is not out.
No.
There will be stuff at some point,
Yes.
but we're not ready to make any announcements.
Cool. People are asking, will there be keys for Xbox as well for the test? And can you still sign up for the keys?
You can still sign up for keys. They won't be sent out tomorrow because we still a bit crashy to be enjoyable. Because when we start testing, like it was the same thing when we started testing for PC as well. We wanted to be as stable as possible so you can you can focus on the game
Yeah,
itself
rather
than no, it crashed when I click play. Like
Yeah,
it's not fun for anyone to
Yeah.
just have that kind of experience.
yeah.
So we want the feedback we want back from the players is that what do you think of the game rather
Yeah.
than the technicalities around the
Yeah.
game.
And I know some people are like, yeah, but I don't mind. I'm used to buggy games. Like, no, you're not. Like, all these buggy betas you've been playing are extremely curated compared to sort of the crashiness and craziness in the development that happens inside the studio. So like, this is like crazy.
Yeah.
But then you do a couple of fixes and suddenly it's like 75% better to play or whatever.
Yeah. But I'm hoping
so we're not
that,
there yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping like within a month we will start sending out Xbox keys. But we still have some crashes that we need to fix. Like
Famous last words,
yeah,
Daniel.
I know.
We
I'm,
have to
always,
start.
I'm always optimistic. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
You have to be optimistic when making games.
Yeah,
Otherwise, nothing
it's
will
true.
be done.
Yeah, in game development and the stock market.
Yeah.
I also saw another question about whether there'll be an achievement system.
Oh, interesting.
Not initially. Like I think we will try to wait for as long as possible because we will probably rebalance stuff and reshuffle things.
And I think like, at least from my
unless we're forced to in like game preview on Xbox to have achievements, then we'll just them
then we do something there,
yeah.
like whatever minimum. But I think from sort of my experience and sort of when it comes to achievements, achievements is something that should be fun and intriguing to the players and not just complete one mission 100 times or
not a chore.
Yeah, exactly. So like in previous games that I've been involved in, we really put some effort into making these achievements creative and interesting and kind of almost like a metagame in and of itself, and kind of like had achievements be a little bit cryptic. So like, first you have to figure out what we're looking for, and then like, how do I even make that happen? And I think it's a good way to kind of make achievements meaningful, and that takes a bit of an effort. And I think, like you say, we will, if we have to do something, we'll probably do the absolute minimum now, and then kind of once we're settled and the game kind of feels at an okay state, we can kind of revisit that. But it feels like it's kind of far in the future at this point.
Yeah.
So interesting. Oh yeah, do you want to jump into the show and tell, and I'll gather some more.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So one of the bigger features, and this is all thanks to the beta, is like first reactions from the players, and us sort of gathering data and all these things is the amount of players who wants to at least partially play single player, and we noticed that a very large percentage, much larger than we would expect, was actually playing alone, or wanted to play alone partially, or was only gonna play alone.
Now we have to share the screen.
Yes, I'm booting up the game here. There it is. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna skip all the. So yeah, what was I? Single player.
Yeah.
So we had plans to make what we call the body bot, which is an AI helper that was going to accompany you. But we thought, okay, that's something we can do later. Let's focus on other cool features, big explosions, whatever. But then we realized that actually the percentage of players who wants to play alone is so high that we have to make that experience a lot better. So the body bot is something that we kind of really push forward thanks to having this
Play
close beta.
feedback, yeah.
Another big feature that I'm not sure, it's not very interesting to look at, but it's the artifacts.
Yeah.
So that is basically like playing the same mission over and over and over. How do you make sure that mission feels interesting and varied? Like, yes, we generate all the destinations, like the composition of destinations that you jump to, the jump map essentially. And everything within a certain destination is never the same. There can be random things happening, but sort of the ship itself and how it interacts with the world was always the same, right? Like if you had a railgun and some guns, they would always work the same. But with the artifacts, which is a system where like you find these artifacts and you install them in the ship, and suddenly they act as modifiers to how the ship interacts with the world. Some playthroughs will kind of motivate us to kind of configure the ship in a different way. So let's say the ship now deals X% more damage per empty power grid square on your power grid. Then we are suddenly like, okay, we need to unplug everything, only have one super powerful cannon activated. It's maybe the sort of best strategy to kind of succeed with that mission compared to other missions where we just want to load out and fill up the power grid. So we kind of okay. So that's something, but like it's kind of hard to show visually. You would have to kind of play it, but it's a big feature to kind of help that sort of sense of repetitiveness. After 20 hours, you're like, hey, it starts to feel the same. so that's one big feature as well.
And it's like our first take, in a sense, on like making the game a bit more like roguelite.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm like starting things, and like we're talking, and people are like, "Boy, shut up! Like we only care about what's happening." So another big thing is that we're starting to put in the story of the game. So right now I think my character is probably clean. Yes, it is. Yeah. So I think I've mentioned this before, but there is a story in the game that kind of is presented when you play the tutorial, and sort of a short introductory video that I just skipped, so you won't. I don't want to keep some things for later. But then you just start with this galaxy map, and you just have one mission, right? So and once you complete this mission, other things will unlock. So there is some sort of linearity to it. We're not going to unlock everything, and it's just there is kind of a story, and there is like a purpose to what we're doing, and that's something that we kind of won't have fully implemented for early access. But partially. So like chapter by chapter, region by region, you, the players, will be working towards the center of the galaxy to kind of stop this robot invasion. That's like the one sentence, what the game is about. And we have the embryo of that in the build right now. So this is what we're looking at, is just this empty map, and there's like a lot of unknown missions that we can't start, but we have this thing where we have to kind of restore our ship. but yeah, like what we're mainly gonna look at now is the body bot. So that's actually what I wanted to show.
We'll get there.
We're getting there. Yeah. We can show the stuff too. I guess you're all super excited to see some of the game. We have like really cool sort of jumping
Takeoff.
cinematics and stuff like that, which is definitely something we will improve on with time as well. But here we are. We just started the first mission and we're just running around inside the ship. And since we're playing alone, we can say hello to the body bot. I don't know if you can hear the audio of the game. Is that like streaming?
I think we've been muting everything since always.
Okay. Maybe that's even
Audio's coming
better.
through for me.
Okay.
All right.
So we got Mr. Bodybot here. And right now he's this kind of the VO, he's obviously an AI generated voice at this point. He's speaking like a cowboy American kind of guy.
Accent.
Yeah. That's not the intent. We just put in a lot of lines right now to make him kind of a bit goofy and stuff like that. But the only purpose is to kind of have voice lines in there that's triggered at the correct time. And then later we'll give him a proper sort of behavior and a proper kind of personality, I guess. The quickest that came up to my mind when I was like coding this guy was like, okay, let's just make him a cowboy dude because that's fun. Whatever. That was very quick to make, but like don't assume this is what he's gonna be once it's fully fleshed out. So he's sitting here and sort of, dealing with the bar, having minding his own business. But every now and then he's gonna help us during the adventure. So if I were to leave the ship and fly around, he would hang out with me. If I would get hurt by enemies and downed, he would sort of help me out. So let's see if he will hang out with me now if I'm leaving here. He decided, there we go. Hey, partner, I'm right behind you. So he does show up every now and then. He helps me out. If I could show you quickly, if I just start, start some enemy ships, I could stand out here and watch just to demonstrate. So now we're opening the almighty dev menu, things you won't be able to see. But I just spawn an enemy squad. Enemy ships jump in. And right now the bodybot is actually manning the turrets, shooting at this guy. So imagine I'm flying the ship. He will help me out in the combat station. That was super quick. He just killed the guy immediately. Okay, let's try again. I'll spawn the squad. Let's dance. And we have some ships coming in. They're shooting at the ship. Here he is, controlling the combat station. And like if I would enter now, he will let me do that. He will not stop what I'm doing. I can just take over. And then once I leave, he will take control back again. If I'm flying now, you can see that he's basically shooting. And then of course I can shoot with my pilot cannons as well. He will also help out with certain tasks around the ship. Let's say the ship is very badly damaged. He will kind of repair the ship so I don't have to leave the pilot seat to kind of deal with certain situations. And then, of course, another co-op thing is if there is ground combat and I get downed, he will show up and heal me. He will also help out shooting the bad guys. And I think, during early access, we will sort of broaden his capabilities to be sort of like if you're playing alone, he would be kind of the guy that would be the second player helping out. And I think even if you're playing two players, he will probably be around doing some of the tasks even then, because two players is, there's a lot of stuff going on in the ship. Let's say we're two players and there is space combat and somebody has to leave the combat station to repair the ship or repair the core. You need somebody to kind of be in the combat station as well. So there's certain things he will help out with even if you're only two players. So that's something we're going to play around with. And we know from internally, like, having him there when you're playing solo is like a massive improvement of how it was before.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Kenneth, or if you tried the game solo, or did you always play with Spanj?
Oh no, I tried the game solo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember telling you guys like this is exactly what it needed. when we were
Yeah.
having our chat. So I'm so happy to see this is in. And you've got a little
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
that can help. It's so
Yeah,
good.
we were sweating for a few weeks and then we got it in, right?
Yeah.
But it's a huge improvement, and with time, people have been like, okay, but I want a dialogue wheel when I can like give him tasks to do and
They
stuff like that.
command him in various
Yeah,
ways.
and I think that's like, yeah, sure, that's great.
That's gonna come eventually.
It will come eventually. For now, he will kind of make his own decisions about what
People
sort of-
already want to have customizable hats for him.
Yeah, I think those things are really cool actually. I've seen naming the character is also
Yeah.
great. Even maybe choosing what chassis, how he looks like.
Mm.
And actually, if you are 4 players, he will still be in the bar.
Yeah.
And I think this is just a great space to kind of add some flavor to the ship and the game as well. If there is fires, he's still, cleaning the table, cleaning the bar. So I would love to give him some sort of panic behavior as well. Or maybe, obviously dealing with the fire as well. But right now, this is it, first version of him. And I'm super excited to see what people's reactions are with that. I was also really proud how quickly we got it in. There's a few sweaty weeks of like just coding. But yeah, so that's the big feature that I wanted to show today. Have we showed like maybe I can show when he's helping me up as well?
Yeah, do it. Like you should go to
I-
destination. With
No. Let's go
Spawn
crazy.
fires.
Let's spawn some enemies on the ship. So you can be boarded on ship. I don't think anybody has ever shown this before.
Not sure.
So there are different ways that enemies can show up aboard the ship. And then... Oh, it's only one little spider. Oh, no.
But does he shoot on the ship as well?
No, but I was just going to show, like, if
okay.
I get killed.
Right.
I could show... Yeah, I should show some on-foot combat
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get downed. Oh, no, I'm down. Who's going to help me? I don't know.
He's gonna help you.
He's going to help me. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. Got you back in no time.
Oops, no, you didn't see the fancy fist bump that Alphonse spent weeks on.
No,
No, sorry.
Yeah. He helps me out, and then we're back on track. So he does stuff like that, and yeah, we should just jump to
Proper
some place and see if we can have some on-foot combat. So yeah, now I'm gonna be just super quick. I'm not gonna explain anything, but there are plenty of videos, like roughly the game loop. So feel free to watch that as well.
Yeah, I saw that the true Pac-Man saw that the jump map has been changed and updated. That's true.
It's a huge improvement as well.
Yeah.
This is like now I'm getting into the territory of like playtesters' first impressions, which you guys probably have no idea about, but the previous jump map was quite convoluted. It had a lot of information that maybe necessarily wasn't that interesting. So we've updated the look of the jump map. So like this is probably not the best representation of how it looks like, but we removed a lot of information to be like, okay, this is a small jump or like a jump with small risk, small reward, and then there are jumps with high risk, high reward. And instead of like before, it was much more precise of like this is the amount of loot you get, or this is the type of loot you get, and stuff like that. So we try to make it a lot more readable, a lot more simple. We also have today a lot bigger missions than we had before, like 1.5 hour, like 10 jumps, like massive marathons, and then we have ones like this, which is much smaller. But yeah, we're continuously working on, especially the UI of the game. So I think for every video we do like this, I think there will be elements that have changed. For example, I think next time, I guess that the ship health bar up in the corner will be completely remade as well. I have a feeling. I won't promise anything. I'm just saying. But yeah, we were kind of right now. It feels like us as a team are like all over the place, doing huge improvements across the board, and it's so hard to even keep track on. Like we were like, okay, so what did we change since last month?
I was trying to write the change log this
Yeah,
morning.
it's like,
I was like,
oh god, can't
I
do
just try to focus on like 5, 6, 7 big things.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like too many details.
it. Yeah,
Hard to
exactly.
Comprehend what's going on.
Right. We don't have any on foot on this one. God damn it.
Mm.
Okay. Let's just. I'm gonna skip here.
Yeah, cheat a bit.
Has that mission table been lowered? Looks like it's been lowered.
I doubt it. I think it's the same mesh, to be honest.
Now at least you don't need to jump up on it to shoot.
People would do
I
it
was gonna
anyway.
say,
I
always had to
promise.
jump up on it.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like everybody was just sitting. Is it this one? Fine loot. I think maybe this one. I'm like, it's funny when we don't have the dev menu, I feel like I have lost an arm. I don't know
Yeah.
what to do.
Like we use it so much, like saves us so much time.
Yeah, it's
Like we
insane.
cheat all the time, like because we just want to try very specific things.
Yeah.
Because the game is very random and changes all the time.
Yeah. It's like almost impossible to.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, search for valuables. So now I'm just gonna scan if there is something. No. God, there's no buoy.
There's no boy.
There's nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna pick
Pick a destination, that's got some proper ground.
Do you have a good example?
Yeah, good question.
Because we have like the progress. Maybe you can just do a progress bar. Yeah, we do a progress bar. So now we're speaking dev lingo. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we just want to show off some on foot combat and show that he's like around. And I think that's an area we probably improve a lot as well. But okay, so we're just gonna quickly just kill everything and move straight into.
You will probably kill them before you die.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So now I just killed everything. So that's why there's nothing else here. We're just gonna fly.
Fly for 2
Something
kilometers.
uninteresting, uninteresting. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna show some gameplay. There's like
Yeah.
nothing happening.
Great demo, Philip.
Yeah, sorry, we're short on time, so. But please watch all the other content that people have been making if you want to show like what an actual playthrough is like.
Oh yeah, I forgot one thing about when playing single player. We put in cruise control for the ship.
Is that a new feature?
Yes,
That
it
feels
is.
like ages ago.
But it is. I think it is.
Oh yeah. So yeah, cruise control. Basically, if you're the sole player, sometimes you just want to send the ship in one direction and kind of like leave the combat, the pilot seat, and do other things in the ship. So now you can just be like, okay, I want to fly in this direction until something comes in front of the ship, and then have the ship turn off or whatever. So now you can do that, and we call it cruise control. It's one of those conveniences that we continuously evaluate and kind of put into the game. But now we've landed, so let's see if there are any bad guys. Hopefully, I did not kill them with the dev menu.
Or did you?
I probably did.
Did you just kill off?
Oh yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I think there should be enemies here. I think I killed him with the dev menu.
You have to start the event.
I have to start the event. So now you're getting a lot of content here. So
I see Rasmus and Henrik were sweating. They're like, oh, 50% chance this destination still works.
we'll see. We'll
It
see.
should work. I played it the other day.
Yeah. So like I mentioned before, some jumps that you make are very, very quick. They're only like a couple of minutes, blow up a ship or whatever, intercept a squad, take them out, and you're done. Some are a bit more elaborate, like this one, where you find this big asteroid, and we have to go into it on foot together as a group and sort of solve a larger challenge to kind of move on. So this is one of those where it's like, ooh, nice and eerie cave, and we have some signal in here that we have to have a look at, and it's strangely empty because Philip managed to kill everything with the console.
Great
Just-
demo, Phil.
Yeah, I just wanted to show the on foot combat. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Here we go. We have activated. Here's my buddy. And okay, things have started. There we go. Oh, yeah, he's shooting. He's helping me out. Cool. So we now have to just stay alive and defend this position until there is the progress bar up in the middle. I think there's so few enemies because we picked like the first mission, and
Yeah.
there's no difficulty
Lowest.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
So this is like super underwhelming. But I'm gonna keep playing a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll just take care of everyone.
Yeah. I think one of the big things we have left in the game is balancing and making sure that, the amount of enemies depending on challenge rating is correct. So like if I'm playing alone, there's enough enemies to make that interesting. If we're 4 players, that's also interesting and stuff like that. And that's definitely a huge challenge because it's like you have challenge and the amount of players. So it's like 2 axes of stuff that you need to keep track of. So yeah, it's quite interesting. But yeah, he's killing things and he's moving with you. And right now he doesn't do much on the ship itself. Like he doesn't take out fires or repair
No.
things yet.
You can repair the ship core. That's it. Yeah.
And put in ammo into the ship, which is a new
Correct. Yes,
feature.
yes.
But yeah, so we have like ammunition is a feature. Basically,
Yeah.
when you're shooting your big cannons or turrets in the game, that will kind of deplete ammunition that some player or the body bot has to kind of.
Oh, there's another gun there. Shotgun.
Like,
No,
no,
SMG.
it's an SMG.
Didn't see.
All right, but yeah, I think I don't know if we want to continue this, but yeah,
Just killing everything off.
yeah.
It's too strong. Yeah, we're
It's
still
too good
tweaking a lot
to
of
few players.
things. Yeah.
So keep in mind, this is like the first mission, which is like easiest difficulty, and it's probably too easy to be easiest still. So that's something that we have to, yeah, we're definitely working on the coming weeks. But yeah, that's like the biggest feature I wanted to show off today. So I guess we could jump back to Q&A,
Back to the room.
probably.
So lots of people want to know how much customization you want to put on for the BuddyBot. In
I
terms
think
of like
it's actually-
equipment, will there be its own skill tree, stuff like that?
Yeah. So there is a huge design space for this character. We just got him in. So today, or probably in early access, like on launch day, there won't be anything. But with that said, of course we want to do cool stuff with him.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Like, why not?
It's a little bit of a tricky space because since he's not with you unless you're playing alone or maybe 2 players, giving him equipment and stuff, we could actually do that. That's super fine. But we also kind of like, okay, if you're investing a lot of resources, your own credits, into something that maybe only helps you when you're playing alone, so that's something we have to kind of like evaluate.
We didn't show the artifacts now.
We did not,
No.
but they're not that.
It's not like graphically cool. Like,
Yeah,
you have to feel it when.
Yeah,
being
exactly.
there.
So like, just imagine you picking up an object and putting it into a ship, and then you get like a buff or whatever. It's. I think we need some time to show the visual feedback before that is something we're gonna show off. But
We have emotes as well.
oh, I missed that.
No
Yeah.
dances though, but
Yeah,
we'll
like
get there
you can do,
eventually.
like, yeah, you can do rock paper scissors and pointing and all these emotes, and I think we will increase the sort of range of things you can do, obviously. But yeah, like the BuddyBot is like a huge space that we haven't really like. We were just like fuck getting in, and we were working on that, and now we're like, oh, it actually turned out to be a lot better than we thought, and there's so much cool things we can do with it.
Yeah.
But we haven't sort of sat down and like, okay, here's the roadmap. It's more like, oh, he's working, great. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
One of the one of the community was asking how can content creators reach out to you guys, and another person asked when will we see more content creator content allowed out there?
I think
Hopefully next month.
yeah, I would say next month, but also we're broadening, like we mentioned the community manager and stuff, like he will definitely be sort of the point of contact.
Yeah, we will probably set up one of those like ambassador programs or creator programs, so it'd be easier for creators to get in touch with us and just deal with everything in a more organized way, I would say.
Yeah, so I think once he's on the team, I'm sure that will be announced here. He will probably be communicating all these things that Daniel just mentioned. Soon, trademark. I think we're very good at that. Valve time and soon.
Valve is your biggest inspiration,
Yeah.
aspiration.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Valve is the best, except for when it comes to predicting
shipping
time.
games.
They're pretty good.
Right. Sure.
As always, we've got people asking if there are other ships which We mentioned, I think, in the last stream that yes, there will be other ships, but has there been any updates on the other ship designs that you're willing to share?
Don't want to show anything, but I can tell you now that when you get the early access game, like in the tutorial, I don't know if that's been shown anywhere. If somebody has shown a video of that.
No, we have not.
So I'm gonna spoil a little bit then. Like that's where you find the ship that I've been, what you've been seeing in all the trailers. And you find it in a quite horrible state. It's kind of broken, dirty, and parts of it has caved in and stuff like that. And you barely get it. Like the tutorial is about getting it working and sort of flying back to your base. And the first part of the story is to kind of restoring the ship up to the condition that it was in that video that I've been showing now, or in the stream.
Yeah.
So there will be like a damaged version of this ship that I just showed, and so you can upgrade ships as well. So it's not just one ship; it's like ship and then like Mark 1, 2, and 3 or something like that. So you will have the player, I call it the player ship now, but like the ship that you've been seeing, a broken version, the cool version that you have now, and probably an improved version. But then also one other ship that
A completely different design.
Yeah, completely different design, much smaller. It's almost like I used to joke that it's like the Lamborghini of like ships. It's like very small, compact, and kind of like we call it the Dart. It's like a smaller thing.
It's like a wedge.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And we really want every ship to kind of have its own kind of, not personality per se, but like use case. So that one is much smaller, like much more easy to handle as a single player. But we're also looking at like making sure that, say, the loadout is different. Like that one maybe don't have a combat station with all turrets and all this special stuff. It only has lots more pilot cannons, for example. So it's like really nice if you play alone. So we're looking at stuff like that to make sure that every ship that we kind of introduce have that own personality, and sort of designing ships, not just the visuals, but like looking at it from that perspective is quite time consuming. So with the promise of obviously making a lot more, I think we will probably have 2 ships on the date of early access. But with that said, it's one of the high priority things that we'll kind of keep pushing out throughout the coming year, basically.
Yeah. And I saw some questions in the chat about season passes or game passes, whatever. Oh, sorry, battle passes. There won't be any battle passes. There won't be any microtransactions. The game will be a premium game. We may create like cosmetic DLC or like we were talking about, like hats, whatever. Like if we put in like extra DLC, it will be cosmetics.
Pink. It's gonna be a DLC.
Colors.
The color pink.
But no like battle passes or season passes. And if we do any kind of those kind of things, they will be free.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
We get bribed.
Yeah.
We got a question on will there be a demo, and when, if so?
Can't say much right now.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that.
It's obviously something we're discussing, but
yeah,
can't say much.
Someone asked, do we have a skill tree for our characters or super aim assist for our non-FPS savvy girlfriends?
We have super aim assist when playing with gamepad. Maybe that's something we should expose for keyboard and mouse players as well.
That's a good point.
Like right now, it's like when playing Call of Duty or maybe like not so many people have played Metroid Prime on console. You're like, what is this game? But they have like Z targeting from the Zelda games. It's not as strong as the Z targeting in Zelda games, but I will probably tune it a bit more so it's more like that, because I've got some feedback already that it's quite hard to aim. But also like when you have stuff flying around and floating on different heights, it's quite hard with gamepad to aim and shoot at
Yeah.
the same time and running around and stuff.
Yeah. I also think like one thing that kind of like we've seen a lot of playtests where you have like maybe one player who doesn't feel very confident in their sort of twitchy movement, but then there's always something to do on the ship that is not being super twitchy. It's like keeping the ship running, fixing things that are on fire and stuff like that. But we also have the first person on foot component where we could obviously have we do have that functionality, but not on the but that's definitely something we could do.
Yeah.
We
can just let you toggle it like extra out there.
Yeah. Super
not?
open.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it. Thank you very much.
Funnily enough, also on controlling stuff, someone's been asking, will there be mouse and keyboard controls for console?
Maybe I'll have
No
to look.
idea.
I have to look into it.
I didn't know you could get a mouse and keyboard for Xbox, but yeah, someone must know.
That's a very specific use case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See people asking that. I don't know. Like we could try it and see if there are any challenges with that, or if it just works out of the box. I mean, it's Microsoft. It should work. I don't know.
If it works.
No
it works,
idea.
but,
Yeah.
I mean, we will be focusing on the gamepad for Xbox for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But that would be like an extra.
I mean, if the code's already there, I mean, for PC, so I mean, it's not like mouse and keyboard doesn't work, right?
No, but
Yeah.
it can be issues with.
You
There are
have
always issues. It's not just about that.
so just to kind of give an insight, like you have layers of code, right? So you have like, okay, mouse and keyboard works on PC, but then you have the game engine, which is interpreting, okay, what are you doing right now? Are you using the keyboard? Or are you using the controller or whatever? And in our game, we dynamically switch. So if you start using your controller, all the UI and everything just switches dynamically, which is super cool. Works great on PC. But if you plug that into on console, we don't know what Unity does with that.
Yet.
Like, yeah, so it could work amazingly out of the box, or it could be like the biggest pain in the ass
Nightmare.
ever. Like, it's very hard to predict.
Yeah.
An interesting question I made sure to copy earlier was someone asking how has the load balancing been and stability during testing. Do you want to give everyone a quick refresher on how all of the multiplayer systems work?
Like server load balancing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like,
It went perfectly fine. No, but yeah, you tell us what is going on there.
So the game is entirely peer to peer, not in the literal sense, but like you have one player is the host inviting players, and then the host is actually the server. We don't have service in the cloud. I think, is it right to say that we as a studio, we believe in the cloud less and less for every year that passes?
I mean, it depends on the use case.
Yeah,
what
but
you wanna do.
it is. We use cloud for some things internally, but it's quite expensive, right? So for example, we're using Epic Online services to kind of hook players together. So like if you want to play with your friend, we go through Epic Online to make sure that that all kind of works, and your achievements and sort of your progression is stored there for now. That might be changing. We might want to store that on your computer so you can play offline as well. But with that said, so we don't really have this sort of back end that you're continuously sort of talking to. You're talking directly to
your friends.
To your friends. The good thing is, obviously, that we're not in the way of you guys doing whatever you want to do with the game. The bad thing is that you guys have to be a bit more aware of who is the server. If that person has a crappy computer or a crappy network connection, that might be GG. Yeah. So with that said, we don't have any. The downside is also like we don't have host migration. So if the server goes down, we are all disconnected. Yeah. So there are pros and cons there, but we've decided to go this route because it's it gives you guys a bit more power over your things. Yeah. And even if in 10 years and we stop continuing this game, whatever, you can still play it. Yeah. You're not reliant on some big corporation
server that has to be up, or we have to pay a lot of server costs.
That is also a huge thing. Like we're too small to be able to pay for all these servers online, always sitting there. So it's a bunch of reasons. We've also this is also like very related to kind of the playtesting, but like now that we've had people on the beta service like trying to play, you know, someone is in Australia, someone is in New Zealand trying to play together with someone in Germany. That's given us a lot of information and helped us tweak our network code to make sure that, you know, that works. And that's actually a big part of our update that it's kind of hard to kind of touch on, but like,
yeah, it doesn't give anything for
yeah, like
you guys right
yeah,
now.
it's
because
been
you can't
pretty
try that.
shitty for some people, and it should be a lot less shitty now. But yeah, whatever. It should be working when you guys get it in your hands anyway.
Yeah, the idea is just work.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like the whole idea about when one of your friends invites you to their game, like they are the captain, they decide which ship you will play on.
Yeah.
And they choose the loadout of the ship. You can
Mhm.
always suggest and while discussing in the hangar.
Mhm.
But the host decides what ship and what mission
Yeah.
you will eventually
Yeah,
play.
exactly. And then did you mention personal progression, like character progression? I think you asked about it, no?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Kenneth, or was that part of the question as well?
I've
Was I
deleted
dreaming?
the question now.
I can update on that.
Copy-pasted it to a notepad.
I guess people kind of, you know, like, okay, you got your ship and you got really cool upgrades, finding components on them. But as of today, you don't have more than cosmetic upgrades. But with that said, I think in the future we will be working on not a skill tree, but like unlocks to your character. I think we're gonna have to make that happen. Exactly how that's gonna work, we don't know yet. But since it's a sci-fi game, it's probably tools and sort of upgrades to your suit or something like that that we'll put in at some point. But that's definitely not in, and we will not be in early, like as we start early access. Another interesting thing that I think we have, that's a big change that we, and I think some streamers have been talking about, is there was some frustration that, you know, that's why we have betas basically, because like right now, like you can play a mission and then you find a cool component, like a super nice railgun or whatever, and then once you're done with the mission, that railgun is gone or was gone, because we were like scared of like how is this gonna work with the progression. If you keep collecting everything on the ship, you're just gonna have a pile of stuff. How do we balance a game to kind of work with that? So we just said no, it's always a clean slate every time you start a new run. But the feedback was obviously, hey, if I found a really cool railgun on the ship, on the last jump, I barely even get to use it, and then it's gone. So we've actually made a huge update there as well.
Yeah.
Meaning, okay, if you find a railgun or some other cool component, it stays on the ship and it's actually unlocked. So like, okay, I found this new generator, or I found a new engine, I found a railgun on the mission. It is unlocked, it stays on the ship. And we've done a lot of redesigning and recoding and rethinking of how to make that work. But now it's in.
I think it's way better now.
It is way better,
Yeah.
for sure.
Way better UX. Like it's more like you
Yeah.
comprehend more what's going on.
Yeah. So actually,
before.
if you kind of, for shits and giggles, uninstall everything but the engines, then jump back to the hangar, it's like, yep,
That's what we'll have.
nothing
next
is
time.
there.
Yeah.
You have the option to put everything back again, of
Yeah.
course, but like there is a certain level of persistence there. Obviously, if I find 10,000 watermelons and I pile it on the ship, those will not stay as for now. It's only the components that kind of stay.
Yeah.
But I think that's a huge step in that direction.
Yeah.
So no watermelon meta then. Damn it.
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
Yeah. Players tend to like collect a lot of stuff that's just hanging around on the ship, and we're like, how do we deal with this? Like, it's just a pile of stuff. It's just gonna be like thousands of items laying around pretty quickly. So
See, we can't help it. We're all hoarders at heart.
yeah.
You know, it's
And we kind of
it's our
encourage that, right?
ancestors' fault, right?
Yeah.
For being so scrappy.
Yeah.
No loot left behind.
Hunter-gatherers, yeah.
Next question is probably a bit more later after early access release, this one, I think. But what does the long-term game loop look like, and how are you keeping the game interesting over time?
I mean, the long-term thing is what I touched on is sort of like you have the story, right? So it's like a sort of linear,
The galaxy map.
yeah, where you kind of unlock new regions and you kind of like work your way towards the center of the galaxy. So that's something you would probably be busy with for quite some time. But then on top of that, once you've done all of these things, you will not have unlocked everything or done all the missions that there are. It's going to be a lot of characters you unlock that show up in the hangar that you can sort of do favors for, and then you get rewards in return. And then of course a lot of side missions, and I think we'll have missions that are like infinite, where you're like you can do infinite amount of jumps, and sort of challenge yourself, like how deep can you go before it becomes too difficult, stuff like that. So we have a lot of sort of end game ideas in there that we probably do during early access as well. But we're trying to cater to very different play styles, because I know like some players that just want to hang out and have pizza with their friends, and there should be missions for that too. Where it's more like, hey, it's just an empty space station, let's role play and do weird shit. And that there are super competitive players who maybe will only play the infinite kind of jumps to see how far they get. And then there are some people who really like the story and it kind of like needs the context to feel motivated to keep playing. So we have a lot of options, and we're kind of like at launch we'll try to, or during beta of course as well, kind of like try to keep an ear to the ground and see like what do you guys want for us to focus on first, and then kind of work from there. And I think the community manager would also kind of help be the interface.
Facilitate like the feedback in a good way.
And whether that's like a big web page where you guys can vote on stuff, or we just show something, or like I don't know exactly how it's going to look like, but there's definitely going to be some kind of communication with all of you guys on sort of what is the most important thing. Maybe all of you only care about pizzas and bodybot. That would be amazing. We can do that pretty easily, but I don't know. Or more ships. I don't know. Like there's so many avenues that we can look at. So I think it's really important that we don't pretend like we know, and we try to be a bit humble and sort of listen to what you guys think the game needs the most.
I've seen quite a few people asking if it's going to be on Game Pass. I think it's too early for that.
Game Pass. Yeah, we have no deal.
And no comments.
I asked
Oh, there you go.
Microsoft, you want us to be on Game Pass? They said, not right now. I was like, okay.
Yeah. That's it.
We'll see.
We'll
Not
see.
right now. That was the answer we got.
I'm confident that will come knocking on our door.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We've got someone asking if there's going to be any escape room style co-op puzzles, or like any. And interestingly, for that question, will there be any aspects to the missions that are only available in co-op, or is it all the same no matter how many players?
I would say the game almost started more like an escape room kind of style.
Yeah,
game.
so it's not something I want to give up on, but we're definitely moving in towards the action part. So today there are no content you cannot play alone. Or that was double negative. All the content can be played single player.
Yes.
And we don't have much of sort of puzzle solving because of the replayability. It's very difficult to kind of design things that are kind of like
still interesting. After 50 times.
Yeah. But with that said, we're looking into like, okay, movement challenges, for example, that type of stuff. Not necessarily combat, but still kind of engaging. Definitely. But escape rooms, no, we haven't found a good systems for kind of making that interesting more than one time. Does that mean that we will not make anything that maybe is only single player? No. All the systems in the game in real time have complete knows how many players there are, and we can definitely make missions and even individual levels that are locked to a certain player amount. But we've decided as a principle, at least now for early access, not to do things that are specific for a certain player count. But it's definitely an option. I have this dream of making like Half-Life in this game, or like single player missions, like spin-offs, whatever. That would be fun, but that's not something we're committing to at this point. I think one more
will there
question
be?
because I need to go to
Okay,
the back.
one more. Okay, I'll finish with this one. Will there be some sort of RAM or plow upgrade that could make ramming even better?
We've been touching on this many times, and I think in the future, yes, but not in the early access first release of the game. But like, for example, there are several engines that have different abilities. So like you have an engine that that drops flares so you can dodge missiles, and then you have the standard engine which have a lot of boosts that helps you dodge projectiles and stuff like that. And then there is one engine that kind of helps you kind of basically project a shield in front of the ship, which is kind of useful in a lot of cases as well. We've been bouncing around an idea of having one engine that kind of just creates a force field in front of the ship, and everything that you fly into will then take a lot of damage. So like that's a strategy as well, but it does not exist in the game. It's up there on the wall of possibilities, but not something we have committed to. Cool. Is that
Maybe one last question?
one
before
last?
wrapping this up?
Okay,
Yeah.
one last.
Anything from you, Kenneth, or the audience?
Oh, let's see. See if anyone puts in a question. People asking for early access date, but that's this summer.
No.
What has been the most challenging aspect of development so far?
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer, yeah.
Just multiplayer is a nightmare in the design space as well. Like
Add like 10x more work.
Yeah, and then huge technical challenges, which I could have hours of talking about networking, because I don't think people understand. Like, you're fighting against physics, the speed of light, and sort of like this is simple question of like, okay, you have one button, two players, they run up and press the button. Who came first? Because like on my side, I was first. On your side, you was first. How do you determine who was first in a responsive and good way? Just pressing freaking button. That is so much harder than you think to make that good. People always complain about netcode. Netcode is shit. Netcode is that. No. There is no game that has good netcode, because physics dictates that you cannot send a signal faster than the speed of light. And actually, light is pretty freaking slow when you think about it. If I'm playing against someone in China, I can, it's like, 40 milliseconds or 50, even if that light went straight through the earth. So let's say 100 milliseconds. Like, if you do two sounds, like boop, boop, so two sounds with 100 milliseconds in between, you can hear, oh yeah, there's a pause in between.
There's a delay, yeah.
Yeah, there is a delay.
Yeah.
And that delay is the bane of my existence.
And all game developers, what they do is like, how good can we hide that delay?
Yeah, you're faking it so hard.
It's all about like how can we fake.
And I think people don't appreciate that there is like netcode. Like, no.
What do you mean? Quake 3 was great in 1998, but there was geniuses working on that game.
Geniuses, but also like how many things are actually moving. Like, you're 4 players, that's 4 transforms. And the only way they interact with the world is by applying a float onto things, a raycast and damage. So network is, I could have a lecture for this, but like, it's so much harder than people appreciate. And there are some games that are doing it, like hiding
really well.
And then people think, oh yeah, they have better netcode. It's like, no, it's actually them just faking it better than everybody else. Because you can't fight the laws of physics, basically.
But you can do it in different ways.
Yeah, you can do smart things there, but cool. All right, is that it for us? Maybe it is.
Yeah, I'd just like to mention, for anyone new, if you've missed part of this Q&A session, it will be going up on the YouTube. And also, there was a ton of questions in the 4th Q&A that we answered. So there's a ton of information there. If you haven't seen it, please do go see it on the Keepsake Games YouTube channel.
Yeah, I recorded the whole session on this laptop, so hopefully it should work. Otherwise, I'm sorry, Kenneth, that I screwed up.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll send out the video ASAP basically, and we'll make an announcement once the keys are out. But our
Yes.
plan now is to send out all or
1000
most of the keys tomorrow, or
tomorrow,
maybe
yeah.
in the coming days. But like, just keep you guys informed. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
And thanks again, Kenetor.
All right,
No,
bye bye.
happy to help.
Bye.